How's it going, folks? So, with the barrage of FUDs who've just come out recently to talk about how the AR-15 is a bad home defense weapon, not a practical home defense weapon, and then go on to talk about the Fuddstacks, and that being the choice to go with, I'm going to actually destroy this little bit of advice here. First off, the AR-15 is a very practical home defense weapon. In fact, it's far more practical than what they have in mind. And we're going to break this down. Let's start off by defining what a FUD stack is. A FUD stack, basically, for those of you who don't know, a person they'll take their slide action shotgun, which is always what they use, and normally they'll load in some slugs, then some buckshot, then some birdshot, then some rock salt, and have it set up. So basically, it's fired in the order of rock salt, birdshot, buckshot, and slug, or some other variation. Well, first off, those slugs and or buckshot, excuse me, are probably going to be more likely to go through walls, or going to penetrate a lot more than that 55 grain loadout of 5.56 you have in the 193 configuration. But, that's not the only problem with that. The major problem you have to contend with this is that if you have a determined assailant or multiple determined assailants, well, by the time you get to that buckshot, you're already going to be probably dead. They don't understand how easy it is for an armed assailant to get to them, even with, a chest full of birdshot and rock salt. But the third problem is the prosecutor's probably going to tear that FUD stack up in court. And don't get me wrong, they're going to try with the AR-15 too, but there's a lot backing the AR-15 as a practical home defense, uh, firearm. If you've got the right defense attorney, that FUD stack, the prosecutor's going to want to know what you're basing off of, and he's probably having an easier time carrying that FUD stack up. Either A, this person wasn't really serious because he loaded, you know, all this rock salt, birdshot, rubber rounds, the beanbag rounds, and all this before he got to the buckshot and the slugs. This person really didn't feel like their life was in danger. That's going to be the argument the prosecutor makes. The person really didn't feel like their life was in that much danger when they drew the gun. That's how I would argue if I was prosecuting it. But alas, I'm not a lawyer. But there have been prosecutors that have made that argument before. And again, the second one is that this person also decided they wanted to put a lot of thought and effort in how they were going to just be barbaric to that poor person who broke into their home. They really weren't doing it with a mindset of protecting their own life. They just wanted to torture the fuck out of a home invader, to get back at them. That would be another route a prosecutor might go with that FUD stack. So, already right there, we've seen, you know, not practical, for if you really think your life is in danger or you're fighting against a determined assailant, you can get yourself killed doing that. And the legal system's going to tear that apart. They're going to tear your FUD stack apart. So, again, and by the way, I'm not saying that these are a bad choice for home defense. You see, if you really wanted to, if you were really serious about home defense, and you say had it loaded up with either double aught buck or the actual better option, number 4 shot, that would be one thing. I could kind of start to take you, I could kind of start to take you serious. In fact, there are people who I will say, they got it loaded up with number 4 shot all the way through on the tube. I can take a person like that seriously. What I can't take seriously is somebody who sits there and makes the fudge stack for their shot and then turns around and says, well, the AR-15 is not a practical home defense gun, when in fact the AR-15 is a practical home defense gun. Now, there was another thing I wanted to bring up because there's actually one or two people who have in their fudge stack Dragon's Breath rounds. I don't think I need to tell the average gun person what a bad idea using Dragon's Breath is in a home defense situation is, but I'll go ahead and explain it. Dragon's Breath rounds are incendiary rounds. You're defending yourself against a home invader. Do you really want to risk lighting your home on fire with a home invader, yourself, and possibly your family in it? Yeah, you didn't think that one through, did you? So, ladies and gentlemen, my best advice if you're in the market to get a firearm and you're talking to somebody and they bring up their fudge stack, they're not going to call it obviously a fudge stack. They're going to call it their loadout for their shotgun or something like that. I call it a fudge stack, and same for other people in the community call it a fudge stack specifically to demean these people because these people are stupid. But yeah, if that person uses a fudge stack, I'm going to tell you right now, don't take their advice on home defense or self defense or anything like that because they really do not know what they're talking about. For anybody who has a comment, question, concern, complaint, gripe, well, you guys got the comment section below. You know me. I will eventually get around to reading your comments. Thank you all for watching. You all take your easy out there and have a great day.